Hi, my name is Sarah, and today we've got a video for neck and shoulder health. Let's get started. So I'm starting seated on 2 blocks here, just pushed together, and that's going to help me to start seated upright and kind of have like a long, tall spine here. So if you've got blocks or maybe even a blanket you want to fold up and put underneath your sit bones, that can really help you avoid starting in this rounded shoulders caving in type of posture. So we can be on our shins here, or maybe you scooch towards the edge of your blocks. And then you can come to a cross-legged position, one foot in front of the other. If you don't have any props, that is totally fine. You can do this sitting on your heels or just coming into this cross-legged position without any blocks. So we're gonna start dropping in right away with just some really gentle shoulder rolls. So I'm drawing my shoulders up towards my ears and then just allowing them to melt down my back. So close your eyes here, and we're going to begin to notice our breath right away. So just notice if your breath is shallow, if it feels tight, continuing these shoulder rolls, if it feels maybe in your chest. And I'm going to invite you to begin to deepen your breath. So imagine that breath traveling in through your nose, making its way down to your belly, and then traveling back up and out, either through your nose or mouth. And then when you're ready, we'll reverse those shoulder rolls. Draw your shoulders back, up and forward. Remembering to check in with your breath. And every time we change our posture, to just begin to deepen it again. Let's bring our fingertips up to the tops of our shoulders, and we'll begin to take some circles here. So just draw your elbows forward, up, and back. So we're going to keep this movement nice and fluid, gentle, finding some more mobility in your shoulders. And when it feels good, you can begin to make those circles a little bit bigger, increasing your range of motion. And keeping the muscles in your traps nice and loose here. You can reverse the circle when you're ready, drawing your elbows back, up and around. Come back to your breath. So breath is a big part of it when we're trying to improve posture or get out of some sedentary habits. You want to use the breath to increase your range of motion, to allow your nervous system to settle when you stretch. And we'll take about 2 more circles here. Nice. Okay, coming up through center, bring your arms wide, and we're just going to do a crisscross and then an open back out. Crisscross, open, shoulder blades draw towards each other. Now as you do this, be careful you're not puffing out your chest too much and just throwing your chest forward, because that will maybe put a little bit of tension on your low back and even cause tension in the neck. So yes, you're gonna probably begin to feel the back of your neck muscles and your shoulder muscles begin to activate, and that's fine. We just don't want any tension or pain. So we're gonna strengthen those muscles that help to keep you upright, that give you that good posture, because when they become weak and we start to have that caving in of our shoulders, that affects more than your posture, right? You get maybe pain in your upper body, neck, shoulders, even headaches, but it can also affect how you hold your rib cage up, your organs, your hips. It really affects the whole body because it's all connected. So it's okay if your muscles are getting tired here. We're strengthening. Let's take 4, 3, 2, last one. Nice job. Go ahead, release. Let's just take a stretch here. Let's extend your right arm out, pull it across your body, plug your shoulder blade back in its socket, and then we could just put some pressure. I'm trying not to hit the mic here, but put some pressure on the back of your arm. Feel a nice stretch running up through the arm and to your shoulder. Hi, Zozo. And then we take it to side 2. Right arm across, or sorry, left arm here, your mirror here. Plug your shoulder back into its socket. Put a little pressure here, the back of your wrist. And release. We're gonna interlace our fingers behind our back. I'm just gonna turn around for a second so you can see this. So I'm gonna start with my palms together. If you need to square at your wrists, that's fine. And if neither of those are accessible, that's okay, right? We can have either a yoga strap or even a sock or a dish towel, a tie, literally anything that's going to lengthen the reach of your arms so that we can bring our palms closer, or we just have something to hold on to here as we draw our shoulders back. So we're finding some compression at our low back, and then that's going to help broaden and open up the front line of your body. Okay, so if you've got a prop, you can feel free to use it. If you don't, and this isn't accessible, we can just reach our arms back, or you can even bring tops of your hands to your low back. Another option would be to grab opposite elbows if that feels a little bit more comfortable. So I want you to find your modification, your variation here. And we take a few breaths here. If this is feeling like enough opening in your chest and feeling pretty intense, you can stay here. If you'd like a little bit more, we can begin pulling our fists away from your low back. And you can begin to lift your gaze a little bit if you like. Deepen your breath. Take about 3 more breaths there. Now, if your fists are lifted, you can rest them towards your tailbone again, but keep your fingers interlaced. And we are going to bring our fists over to your right side waist. Okay, so fists are over at my right side. This elbow kind of wants to flare out. I'm gonna work to draw my elbow back and then pull my shoulder down. Right, so it was out, maybe a little bit crunched if you're really tight. So again, just work to draw the elbow back, shoulder down. Last step here would be to just tilt your head towards your right shoulder. Okay, we'll take a few breaths here. Letting it flow in through your nose, down to your belly, up and out through your nose or mouth. And when you're ready, let's lift our head through center and we'll take it to side two. Keeping our fingers interlaced, draw your fists over to your left side waist. Draw your elbow back, shoulder down, and then if it's okay in your neck, we will tilt our head towards your left side, left shoulder. Now, it's probably not going to be the most comfortable posture here, especially if you're not used to stretching these muscles in your neck, but I also want you to be aware of if you're having any pain, right? So a stretch is different from pain. So just be aware of that, and if you are getting pain, maybe we need to come out of it a little bit, lifting your head, or maybe changing the direction of your gaze, finding a spot that feels like a good stretch without any pain. And when you're ready, we'll go ahead and release that. And we're gonna make our way to our bellies for this next one. So if you've got blocks, you can move them out of the way. We're gonna take a shoulder stretch here. It can feel pretty intense, so I am gonna give you modifications. So let's start by carefully lowering down to your belly. We'll extend one arm out. The opposite hand is down on the mat, either palm or fingertips, just for a little bit of stability and support. Keeping this extended arm planted and your head lifted. And the reason I want you to keep your head lifted is to keep your spine in alignment. Oftentimes when I see this shoulder stretch, sometimes there's a tendency to kind of lower your head down to the mat as you come into the stretch. But just to play it safe with our spine here, we're going to keep our head lifted and begin to roll onto your side. Okay, so this extended arm is staying put. You should feel a nice deep stretch in the shoulder of your extended arm. Okay, if this is feeling too intense already, we can come off it a little bit, coming more towards our belly. If this feels good, just stay here. If you would like to go a little bit deeper, we can begin to bend into that top leg and lower your toes towards the ground. Remembering to breathe here. All right, as soon as a posture gets intense, sometimes we want to stop the breath, but just continue to let it flow. If you'd like to come a tiny bit deeper, maybe we lower the heel towards the ground. If not, just come back, ball of your foot. Let's take 3 more breaths here. Nice, and now as gently as we came into it, we are going to come out of it. So extend that leg. Use your palm to help you roll back onto your belly, gently, carefully. And then palms come back underneath your shoulders. Again, let's do that to side 2. Extend your opposite arm long. I'm using my left fingertips on the ground for leverage here, for stability and balance. I'm going to begin to roll onto my hip. Okay, maybe this is enough. You can stay here. If you'd like to come to the next step, we bring the toes down. keeping your head lifted, reaching long through the crown of your head. And if you'd like to lower your heel, go ahead. This is enough for me, so I'm going to stay here and just take a few breaths. And when you're ready to come out of it, gently, gently release that top leg. Begin to roll back onto your belly. Both palms come underneath your shoulders. So we're either going to take a cobra or an upward facing dog. Your choice. So maybe it's a cobra, staying nice and low. If you've got a little bit more flexibility in your back and want to open up your chest a little bit more, we will anchor through our quads, push into your pelvic bone, press through your palms, and lift your chest here, drawing your shoulders down. On your next exhale, we will lower our chest back down to the mat. Take it to all fours, tuck your toes, press into your palms. Just lift your hips. And we're going to come back through center, returning to a comfortable position where you can lift up tall through your spine. And we will finish up with some neck circles. So let's just roll the shoulders back one more time. And then we'll begin to draw some circles with your nose. So we'll take about 5 in one direction, and then we will reverse our circles. Reverse your circles if you haven't already. And when you're ready to bring your head up through center, we'll lift through center and we'll close it out here. Thank you so much for joining me in this neck and shoulder health video. If you're enjoying these videos and finding these practices helpful, please consider liking and subscribing to the channel. I hope to see you soon. I hope your shoulders and neck are feeling a little bit looser and a little bit more mobile. I will see you in my next video. Namaste.